Thembi Ntahane KaMahlangu is a teacher, writer, poet and motivational speaker who's recently added published author and poet to this list. Now, Thembi's debut novel, He Saw the Storm, follows the story of Nomgqibelo Cazi, who shortly after the death of her husband leaves behind her parents and child to seek employment in the city of Pretoria. This is where she stills the heart of a man called Banzi Magalela, not knowing that there's a storm brewing in the midst of a newly found love flame. Without giving away too much, let's now invite the book's author Thembi to step in and help us unpack this tale further. Thembi, a very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Before we get into the deeper discussion about this book, let's first start with your love for reading and writing, which I understand started during the primary school years.
That's very much correct. I've always been an avid reader. Ever since I could actually read, I started reading. In primary school, when I was doing grade 3, I was part of a reading club where we read books. It was a sort of a competition thing where we read books, and whoever, at the end of the day, whoever read the most books will receive a certificate. So yeah, that's where my love for reading started, actually.
Okay, and where did the idea to write He Saw the Storm come from?
Well, I have always been a person who questions the cultural practices in South Africa. So I've always wondered in my life, because oftentimes I would be told that a child that is born out of a wedlock always remains at home. So I've always questioned that as to why do I have to leave my child when I go to marry a different man who's not the father of the child. And then when I got answers to those questions, I was like, since I didn't know this, that means the whole world doesn't know this. So the world needs to know the answers to these questions. That's when I decided to write He Saw the Storm.
And it's interesting, Thembi, that we've been having this kind of discussion with my colleagues just recently. And the book centers around a newly widowed mother, Nomgqibelo Cazi. Just speak to us more about this character and how the story develops in the book.
Right. So Namcobellos is a woman from the Eastern Cape, Punu to be specific.
Okay.
So she never got any education. When she was young, she was married off to this family, the Kiamzelo family.
Yeah.
So in that family, they have a daughter called Nomgqibelo. Shortly after they had that daughter, the husband died. When the husband died, Nomgqibelo decided to go back home. And when she went back home, she didn't have any career perspectives because, well, she was not educated. So she decided to go and seek for a better life for herself and her child. So when she gets to Pretoria, she had no intentions of falling in love. She had no intentions of finding a man. But when she gets to Pretoria, she steals the heart of this man who is a senior accountant at a national bank. So when she steals that heart of a man, that man decided, you know what? I'm going to marry you. I'm going to make you an honest woman. Right. So what happens is that because love, we know love.
Yeah,
because
tell me about it.
This man is like, okay, no, it's fine. I'm going to take you both, you and your child, because I understand that now you are coming to our family and you cannot constantly visit your child at home. So how about we take this child with you to stay with us? And then it happens. A marriage is marriage. However tough, marriage is marriage. So it happens that there are complications in the marriage. And when there are complications in the marriage, Banzi, the husband, ends up taking the daughter as the second wife, which is very,
bizarre,
very disturbing. Very disturbing. So that's how the story develops. So in the end, it shows how Banzi turned out to be and how Nomgqibelo turned out to be.
And quite interestingly, Thembi, we see Banzi and Nomgqibelo's love affair blossoming, and it becomes, perfect. But we know that not all that glitters is gold, as Nomgqibelo is warned through one of her dreams. Tell us more about this.
So Nomgqibelo got a dream when she started falling in love with Banzi. Her late husband visited her in the dream And then because she did not understand the dream, she told herself that it's guilt. It's guilt that she felt that she was somehow betraying the husband by finding another man. So that's how she took it. She didn't understand that was just a warning to warn her that something big was actually coming. So the late husband actually did come to Nomgqibelo to warn her that even though you are happy now, something is coming, something big actually is coming. But because love is love, Nomgqibelo could not understand the message.
Yeah, and one of the themes that is carried throughout this book is that of rape and molestation, perhaps. So why did you find it important for you to highlight this subject?
Well, rape is not, I wanted to show that because when the book was published, a lot of cases of rape were coming forward. So I wanted to highlight that rape is not something that starts now. Rape has been happening for centuries. Rape has been happening, and somehow it has been normalized because usually if it's within the family, they usually conceal it. The family members, they usually conceal it. They call a family meeting and try to talk to the victim of rape. So I wanted to highlight the fact that rape has been happening and it has been hidden, because usually they call a family meeting and try to push it under the carpet. So it's not something new. Rape has been happening, and usually the people who were the perpetrators of rape were usually your uncles, your friends, people that are close to you. It wouldn't be someone that you would suspect actually to say that they would rape me. But at the end of the day, the people that you trust the most ends up to be the people that will hurt you the most. So that's what I wanted to highlight, that rape has been happening and it has been concealed by under the belt of, say, culture, because we see that when when Banzi started raping Nomti, Nomgqibelo was sick at that time. So when Banzi started raping Nomti, Nomti felt pregnant along the way. And then that's when the mother, Magalela, said, okay, because now we are in this situation, just take her to be the second wife.
Yeah. And the book also dives deeper into motherhood and the lengths that mothers can actually go in terms of ensuring the safety and well-being of their children. And quite interestingly, today is Mother's Day. Speak to us more about this aspect of the book.
All right. Yeah, I didn't realize that today was Mother's Day. Can I just deviate? Can I just deviate a bit? My grandmother is watching me at home, so happy Mother's Day, grandmother.
Oh, wow. That is so cute.
Right. So this book, so when Nomti experienced, because Banzi changed after the whole thing of Nomti becoming the second wife, Banzi changed. He became a completely different person. So now Nomti has this thing that this man did this to me, but he claimed that he loved my mother. So there's a chance that he can do this to our children, because Nomti now had, at this time, Nomti is a mother to this girl. So Nomti had a daughter. So now, in her mind, she's like, no, if he can do this to me, that means he can do the same to my children, because he doesn't love me. Me and him, we became a couple under abnormal circumstances. So Nomti wanted to protect her children, whatever it took to protect them from the abuse that Banzi was inflicting towards her and towards the family.
You know, Thembi, I quite like the fact that this book, so many people can actually resonate with. You know, so many people can see themselves through the eyes of, through the eyes of this character, Nomgqibelo. So that's what I quite like about this book. And you're also a poet, isn't it? And your works have been featured on international publications, including the Woman Scream anthology and Hibiscus poems that heal and inspire. Tell us more about this.
When I started venturing, I've always written poetry, but as a child, I've always written for myself.
Okay.
So when I started understanding social issues, then I wanted to address some of those social issues, but I didn't have a way as to how am I going to address those social issues. But I said to myself, I have this talent, so why not use it? So when I saw this, publications wanting authors to come forward and submit their work, I was like, okay, this is my opportunity to actually address social issues and also get my talent out there. So in 2020 last year, 2020 February, the Women Scream anthology was published, and I was featured in it. It's a publication from the United Kingdom that it talks about women and children who experience abuse, how we can comfort them through poetry. And the hibiscus poems that heal and inspire is based in India. That one talks about the pandemic. It was published in June last year. It talks about the pandemic, how we are dealing with the pandemic, how we can give hope in the midst of the pandemic.
All right. Thembi, you're going places and your star is shining very bright. And, you're the next big literary genius. Thank you so much for chatting to us this morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, great stuff. Do have a great day now. Well, that was published author and poet Thembi Ntahane KaMahlangu, and we've been speaking to her about a debut novel titled He Saw the Storm. Beautiful read. You need to get that one.